Episode number 3 of the Dock Spiders update. We are joined today by Chuck Thielmann. Chuck is the new field manager of the Dock Spiders. He was on the inaugural coaching staff in 2017 as the pitching coach. So welcome back virtually, but also soon to be in person. Chuck, thanks for taking the time to join us.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I'm happy to be on, and it's nice to kind of see you again and meet with a couple other people beforehand as well, but can't wait to finally be back out in Fondy.
Yeah, no, appreciate you taking the time. Can you just kind of talk about a little bit about your background to kind of get people a little bit more familiar with you? I know, between coaching the Northwoods League in 2017, the Prospect Collegiate League, you being full-time at Stevens Institute out east, Division III school, just kind of talk about, your background and what's going on in your world right now.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, first thing I'll start off with is I'm a Jersey guy, so I've been lived in New Jersey my whole life, obviously ventured out to the Midwest a couple times, but I played my college baseball down the road from home in Union, New Jersey. It was Kane University, small Division III. Was fortunate to be a part of some good teams while I was there, a couple World Series appearances. And when I got done, still had the aspirations of playing and coaching and doing all that stuff. And funny enough, and I'll probably get to the story in a little bit, but my first kind of gig as a coach was in the Prospect League. And it was awesome. And what I dealt with while I was out there is just strictly the pitching staff. So it was Zach and I kind of with my first gig going at it, and he gave me full control when it came to the pitching staff. And that was a great experience. I mean, I spent the summer playing in the Northwoods, actually in Thunder Bay. So I had an idea of what it was about. But I think coaching was a little bit different, and I definitely enjoyed it a ton. And that what kind of propelled me to where I'm at today. Like you said, I'm at Stevens Institute of Technology. We're in Hoboken, New Jersey, right on the Hudson River. So you can see the New York skyline right there. It's a great place to be. This is going to be year 4 for me this year. And I'm the pitching coach and recruiting coordinator here. So I handle everything when it comes to pitching. I do have my hands in everything else in terms of the program. When it comes to recruiting, I'm the guy that's usually doing a lot of traveling. Obviously, right now, not so much with everything going on, but I think moving forward, it's going to be fun to be able to kind of get out on the road again. Obviously, coming out this summer, I'll still find ways to be able to do that here and there, but I'm really excited to be able to get out to Fondy again.
That's great. I guess how different was your experience playing that one summer for Thunder Bay as opposed to the one summer coaching here in 17? I know you're kind of alluding to kind of the differences a little bit, but just what was that difference between a player and a coach?
I mean, I think first thing first, I mean, for me, I was a pitcher, so it was kind of an every 5th day or here and there, but I think the grind is a little bit different. Being somebody that enjoyed it, I think it was a little bit easier from the coaching side, a little bit more stressful at times. But I think just being able to build a different type of relationship. I think when I was a player, obviously you have that player-to-player relationship, but I think the coach-to-player relationship is just a completely different feeling. And I think I learned that one in the Prospect League and even in my first year here. I mean, we still have group chats with the guys that were on the team, and obviously I still talk to Sharbs a ton. I talked to Sam a lot, who was our hitting coach at the time. So I think the biggest difference is just the type of relationships that you build and kind of the bonds that you have moving forward. And honestly, even seeing them kind of come back to help you a little bit when it comes time, if you ever need anything or questions about stuff. So it's just been a good lifeline to have.
What makes you so excited to return to Fond du Lac? Obviously taking over for Zach after Zach's 4 years from the beginning to now. What makes you most excited about coming here?
Honestly, Fond du Lac. I just had such a great experience while I was out there. I think, especially being the first year, and I think now that word's out a little bit more, hopefully the buzz is a little bit higher than it was first year. But the Fondy Faithful was kind of the name that they got that first year, and kind of the energy that they brought out to the ballpark was just awesome. And again, the guys that we were able to get. I mean, kind of going along with Sharbs and being with him a couple of years, just being able to make sure you're bringing in the right person. It's funny to think like summer ball, it's, hey, what do you got? Like, what kind of guys are looking to play and this and that? And it's not as simple as just, all right, yeah, we'll take that guy. I mean, definitely want to get to know them a little bit, see what they're about, because I think that's the most important part. Because it is a long summer, and I think being able to have those right people, make it work and make it go round, whether it be connecting with the community when we went out and did certain things. I think our guys enjoyed that stuff. And I think that's what I'm most excited to come back to is obviously be able to compete, get on the field and compete again. But just sort of everything that Fond du Lac is about and sort of the relationships, again, I come back to it. But even guys that I met while I was out there just coaching that were from Fond du Lac that I still text with again, talk with today that weren't even involved with the Dock Spiders. So just the community as a whole, I'm looking forward to getting back out there for a summer.
How similar and different is it from recruiting a college athlete at Stevens Institute of Technology to recruiting a guy to come play in Fond du Lac for the summer? Obviously, shorter time frame, so many games, but is there a similar difference in terms of kind of touching on maybe character or things you're looking for?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's similar in that aspect in terms of having a certain type of guy that you're looking to bring in. I think if you're going to look at maybe differences, us being a little bit more higher academic, we're maybe looking in a certain area or a certain space here at Stevens. But I think the really exciting part about Fond du Lac or just the Northwoods in general and summer baseball is the pool is much larger. So you can pull kids from all over, get to know kids. But I think definitely the biggest thing that it would be similar is just making sure you're bringing in the right kid. I think as coaches, it's easy to kind of see who can play. But the tough thing is just being able to get a read on the type of person that you might be bringing in. And hopefully we connect on the same level and can kind of work from there.
Makes sense. Do you have a favorite story or two from 2017 in that first season here in Fond du Lac?
Ooh, my favorite story. I mean, I can think of a couple favorite times that I had out there. I mean, one that came to mind, and it's funny, like before we got on, I actually went back and like looked at the top 10 plays from our season and everything like that. And the number one was Eric Gilgenbach's walk-off against Kenosha. And we had A.J. Lewis, and he scored all the way from first base. I actually think we might have had like 2 walk-offs that week. And I think that was just awesome to kind of remember because it was sort of those dog days of the summer. Like who wants it more? And I think we just had guys that wanted to compete. Obviously, Andrew Bullock, he was sort of the ringleader of the crew. So I think that would probably be the biggest memories. I mean, those guys, they really did. They fought to the end and they embodied everything that we sort of wanted to get out of them. And they bought into it. And I know that they had an enjoyable summer doing it as well.
With Zach being kind of a Midwestern guy, obviously getting a lot of Big Ten players, other Power 5 players, you've spoken on New Jersey guy, East Coast. I mean, what can we kind of expect moving forward with roster? I mean, is it kind of a mixture? Obviously, with Zach still being involved, or are you going to try to bring more guys from the East Coast, or is that kind of up in the air yet?
No. So, I mean, yeah, Zach and I have been working pretty hand in hand when it comes to the roster. I think it's a little bit of a plus for us. I mean, when I first got started, I was just getting into the coaching world. And I think now where I'm at and being able to travel a little bit, like I said, with Stevens, we've made a lot of connections and we're definitely going to have a little bit more of an East Coast pipeline. You're going to see a lot of guys. We have a couple East Coast Big Ten guys. So a little bit of a mix of the both. So we're definitely been working hand in hand. I think you're going to see some guys coming back, which is going to be fun. Some guys that know what it's about and what we want to do here. But I think for us, our goal is to put together the best roster that we could. So I think we would be doing a disjustice just looking around on the East Coast. So we've been trying hard to kind of get everywhere we can, put together the best roster that we could from start to finish for the season.
What makes the Northwoods League so special? I know you're touching on the grind before, as a player and a coach, and that being a little bit different. But I mean, what makes it so intriguing for college coaches, college athletes to come and kind of showcase their talents in the summer?
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think from a side of what I think some of the goals are of the players that play in the league, it is a longer season. So I think from a scout side, sometimes that's the minor league experience when it comes down to it. And I think if you're somebody that wants to go through that and enjoys that throughout a summer, it could be a good fit and it could be something that is good for you and able to experience. And I think from I guess just the competition standpoint, again, like I said, playing in the league back when I was in school to coaching in it a few years ago, and even seeing some of the guys that we have on the roster now, it's as competitive as it ever was, sometimes even a little bit more. But I think it just brings a different type of player out in the Northwoods. I think you have people that like to grind and like to get after it. And that is probably the coolest thing about playing or coaching and playing in the Northwoods. I know I said the grind before, but the grind is the best part, being able to hop on the bus. I remember playing Mafia all the time in the back of the bus with the guys and everything. So just a lot of fun times that you get to build up, being on the road and making those travels and meeting people as you go. So again, it always comes back to those connections and those relationships.
Is there anybody you rely on in terms of the coaching world that you would call a mentor, or people you reach on, whether it's situational stuff, values, anything within the coaching world, and kind of stuff that you just pick their brain on?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely pick on a few here and there, but I think if there was two that really pop into my mind, Taps, who was our head coach at Stevens, obviously he gave me my first opportunity as a collegiate head coach, and it's been awesome to learn from him. And I think for me, being able to pick the brain of two very, I guess, knowledgeable people in the baseball world, and the second person is Zach, because he's the person that sort of took the leap of faith on me. And I'll kind of give that story real quick. So Zach and me, the first time I ever got the opportunity to coach with him, I'll never forget it. I was walking out of a independent workout just around here, local team, and I got a call as I'm going through the parking lot, and it was, "Hey, this is Zach Charbonneau. I don't know what you're up to, but our pitching coach just got signed to pro ball, so give me a call." And I called him back, and it was, "Yeah, I mean, we're looking for a guy. I'll let you know if we have a spot for you." And he called me up, and he said, "All right, well, the deal is the season starts in 3 days, so you need to be in Springfield, Illinois in about a day or two." And I packed my bags and I went, and that kind of started. And he's just been a big piece, just giving me that first shot, somebody that I rely on. I'm excited to have him still a part of it here. I know he's going to be a big help to me as we go through. So those two guys definitely have been a big sort of impact for me in the coaching aspect of things.
No, I love that, how you guys have been connected since Springfield, and now years later meeting again in Fondy together, and look forward to having obviously both of you back this summer. And hey, appreciate you taking the time. I know, as you mentioned off air before we get on here, you guys got snow finally, and like I said, you guys can keep it over there. So thanks for taking the time, and obviously we'll be catching up with you come spring here.
Absolutely, Marcus. I appreciate it too, and I look forward to seeing everybody really, really soon.
All right, Chuck, have a good holiday.
You too. Have a good one.
Thanks, man.